Triple Take is a series of unexpected experiences in the form of a fast 2D precision platformer, in which the levels evolve as you complete them. So when you start any level for the first time, it might seem easy, especially for this genre, but then comes Take 2, a slight variation of the level, but only more difficult. And then finally Take 3, which is where you may feel that special kind of rage that only comes from dying again and again and again. The developer is even kind enough to highlight just how long it took you to complete a level, and how many deaths you suffered. But is it any good? Let's take a look. Triple Take is developed by FlyAway, a British developer who focuses on innovative ways of storytelling within games. They originally started out as a game jam entry, which evolved into this precision platformer with a meta-horror storytelling element. In this video, I'll give a brief overview of the game's premise, along with my verdict after completing it. The game has 5 different worlds, all in this entirely unvibrant yet also eye-catching colour scheme. Each world is a different colour and introduces a unique gameplay mechanic, be it focusing on running and jumping, giving off strong Mario vibes, or avoiding obstacles, fire, and even fish. There is a dreaded underwater level, now featuring underwater fire, as if underwater levels couldn't get any worse. The worlds get progressively harder as you work your way through the game, with World 5 being devilishly difficult. Thankfully though, the controls are very responsive, which is a must for a precision platformer. My only criticism, or more observation, would be that the hitbox for the character is extremely unforgiving, adding further to the difficulty. It's certainly not unreasonable though, but it just took a bit of getting used to and could be a bit frustrating when you thought you'd nailed that jump, but no, you hadn't. The end of each world also has a boss fight, one of which features an absolute retro classic of a game that I won't spoil for you. Each boss fight is slightly different, further adding to the variety this game gives you. One actual criticism I do have here though, is that one of the boss fights features quite a bit of screen shaking. Along with a monochromatic colour scheme and glitch effects, this actually made me feel a little bit motion sick at times. It also made it quite hard to follow where the player was, so this boss took me a long time and I ended up feeling a bit rough by the end of it. As expected, the boss fights towards the end of the game become very difficult, but are still achievable with a bit of perseverance and a lot of accuracy. With an already varied style of gameplay, showcasing all the classic challenges of precision platformers, there's even more than meets the eye with Triple Take. In between each world, we also progress through the story. Alongside the player, we also have the cutest of companions, this thing that seems to resemble the dog from A Nightmare Before Christmas, a sleepy turtle obsessed with food, and a character with an unhealthy obsession with going into an office. Here, the gameplay also breaks a fourth wall and goes beyond the game itself, with ominous messages appearing on screen. The game seems to know too much, telling me to move files on my C drive, which is almost reminiscent of those old EXE horror games. In order to continue playing, the game will make you solve puzzles in real life as well, so FlyAway are living up to their promise of taking an innovative approach to storytelling indeed. I was pretty blown away by this. I was just expecting a 2D platformer, but this element really elevates the game above the competition. Although I did find there to be a bit of a downside to this, in that accessing files on a Steam Deck is not as easy as a PC. So while the platforming elements looked fantastic when I was playing the demo, I struggled with the real-life elements and my progress just ground to a halt. So I feel that this game is really best suited to playing on a PC with a controller. On PC, this game ran like a dream, with no frame drops, crashes, or anything. It was smooth from start to finish. As well as its numerous unique gameplay elements, the game also has a fantastic 8-bit soundtrack courtesy of Tobias Roberts, a UK-based composer who has worked on multiple game projects in the past, such as taking part in quarterly game jams and making music for various indie projects. As well as composing this soundtrack, he's also worked on a debut album consisting of non-game related music. So if you like what you're hearing in the background, I encourage you to check him out on SoundCloud. Each world has a different style, all of which are equally as catchy, so at least while you're repeatedly dying, you can enjoy the music. This game should take around 3 hours to complete if you're quick, depending on how good at platformers you are. It took us about 5.5, but it honestly didn't feel that long, which is always a sign of a great game. There's also collectibles along the way, which I admittedly didn't get all of, but I will be revisiting. I do sense that this game will be good for speedrunners too, although I myself am happy to just make it to the end of these kinds of games, with my controller still in one piece. Despite the nature of this game suggesting repetitiveness, Triple Take is anything but. It offers variety, a solid narrative, and unique storytelling. Accompanied with an awesome soundtrack, this game really is an amazing experience and a gem among the indie platformer genre. Not only is the third time a charm, but also the 103rd time, accompanied by a healthy dose of rage. This game is now available on Steam, so I really do encourage you to go check it out. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.